Welcome to Newsletter Guru TV, your show with a boatload of smart marketing and business building advice, and a little fun along the way.
This episode of Newsletter Guru TV is brought to you by Jim Palmer's Dream Business Academy, Annapolis. This truly one-of-a-kind live event takes place October 7th through the 9th in beautiful Annapolis, Maryland, and you'll learn exactly how to market and grow a more profitable business faster. Jim and his dream team of speakers will share some of their best marketing and business building advice, all in a pitch-free zone. And don't miss two of Jim's rock star entrepreneur friends, Melanie Benson-Strick and best-selling author Bob Berg. Dream Business Academy Annapolis will quite literally transform your business. Do not miss it. Get all the details and register today at www.dreambizacademy.com. That's www.dreambizacademy.com.
Hey everybody, Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru, your dream business coach. As always, I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. It is it's a Sunday evening right now. I'm just about getting ready to head back to my house, and I was reviewing a bunch of questions. We're about in week 2 of our video interview series that I'm doing with all the rock star entrepreneurs. Melanie Benson-Strick, Bob Berg, Kelly Roach. I'm interviewing all of the speakers that are part of my next Dream Business Academy. We're doing these kind of video hangouts. I have time, because I only got the speakers for about a half an hour, so I have time to answer maybe 2 or 3 of the questions. What I did not anticipate was there's easily, gosh, I think on Melanie's we had over 32 questions. We had about 20, 25 questions for Kelly Roach, Bob Berg. They're already starting to come in as I do this video here. So what I've decided to do, I actually do not have time. I apologize in advance. I don't have time to reply to every single question individually. It takes me forever. So what I'm doing is I'm jumping in front of the camera. I'm downloading all the questions. In some cases, I've already shot one video. I had like, I don't know, it was like 15 pages of questions. And I sat in front of the video camera and I went boom, 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 and I answered all of them. We are promoting, or not promoting, we're sending that video link to all the people that registered for those video hangouts. And I thought, you know what? There's some really good stuff. People are asking mindset questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I know if I have a good product? I'm just getting started. What's the first thing I should do? How do I get my money mindset right? How do I start selling 6- and 7-figure deals? I mean, there's some really, really good questions. And I thought, as always, you want to get your message out to as big of an audience as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a couple of the answers that I have already recorded right here in this episode. We'll do a little editing here, and I'll put in some of those questions. And then I'm going to put a link to where you can watch the entire episode of me answering a lot of questions from entrepreneurs just like you. And basically, you'll just get a chance to watch the video interview that I did, and then you'll get a chance to see the questions. So that's all I'm going to do for now. I've got to pack up and get home and get ready to hit it again first thing tomorrow morning. But enjoy these questions, and you know what? Play the questions right now. I'll be back in a second. So Jack posted a question. I've been on the internet since its inception and still found nothing or nobody who could directly access the subconscious mind to change the scarcity mindset most of us seem to have, stopping us from prosperity. What makes you think you have the answer? Whoa, Jack. Okay, here's the deal. I didn't invent any of this. I am a student of learning. I'm a student of marketing. I'm a student of entrepreneurship. I'm a student of success. I've been in business actually for over 30 years, and my own business for almost 15 years. And one of the things that has helped propel me to much higher levels of success was finally embracing, recognizing, and really harnessing the power of the subconscious mind. I mean, I started studying, like most people, Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. The New Psycho-Cybernetics, a great book from Dr. Maxwell Maltz and Dan Kennedy, and many other books. If I was to look over there, doggone it, there's a lot of books that I have, even about money mindset, things like that. But here's the deal, Jack. I'm going to just say your belief system sounds wrong. And when it comes to success, there are really 2 questions that I think are paramount, and whether they're tied to the subconscious mind or just your core, your belief system, it is this. Do you believe that you deserve success? Do you, Jack, believe that you deserve success? And if you do you believe success is possible? You see, before you can tackle any of the things that are going on in your mindset, you need to answer those two questions, because if you don't believe success is possible, and further, and even more important, if you don't believe that you deserve success, it's not going to come. It's not to say through hard work you can't get to a certain position or financial situation. You can. But people who are uber successful, they know they deserve it. They deserve all the success that they can get and manifest and work for and things like that. And once they know they deserve it, they believe it is possible. I mean, heck, all you need to do is look around at all the successful people out there. From the Zuckerbergs to the people who just sold Periscope. It wasn't even done, and they sold it for a pile of money. And there's people who started businesses, brick and mortar businesses, and have done extremely well, even in a crowded area. There are people right now that are in the service-based business when generally that industry is a little suppressed. Real estate in a lot of areas is not doing good, but there's people who are killing it. Well, why is that? It's not that economic conditions are different for everybody, Jack. It's because what's going on up here. All right, so the subconscious mind, I believe, is changed over time with new and repeated information. All right. So when I first got started, I reminded myself, a little voice in my head said I got to be brief because I got 10 pages here. But when I first got started, Jack, I recognized about 5 years in, before I transitioned into the business model that I have today, there were certain things I was willing to do, certain things I wasn't willing to do. I wasn't a total student of subconscious mind at the time, but once I grasped that and the power of retraining your brain, your brain, your subconscious mind, I view it like a record, like an old LP vinyl record. Every groove in there is recording everything from the time you were born, things you've heard, things you've seen, things you've watched, things you've listened to, things you've been told. All of that is going on. Teachers, parents, other kids, things like that. Everything is just constantly recorded. And when you think about when you become an adult, let's just say, okay, you're 21, you've maybe had some school, maybe you're going on. When you finally make that transition and it's all you're on your own, so to speak, it's all about you, personal responsibility. What am I going to do? It's a lot of that thinking. It's a lot of that thinking that you've heard, all that stuff up there, which is dictating your comfort zone, how much you think about risk, how much you're willing to risk, how much skin you're willing to put in the game. Thoughts create your reality. And if you don't believe me, I'm sure you can think of a time when you might have had a bad dream, whether there was a bear chasing you, or you were swimming away from a great white shark, or you were falling off a building, you woke up in a cold sweat. That's your subconscious mind where that dream takes place, but your body, your physical body, can't tell the difference between what's going on in your subconscious mind. So there are lots of things I've done. I've got off the news. I do nothing but positive things. I've done positive affirmations for several years, retraining my brain, and there's a whole bunch of things I've done. But yes, it's just like if you want to change a behavior, they say it takes 21 days. It probably takes more than that, in my opinion, but because we kind of slip off the wagon a little bit. But if you can change the way you think about success. I've changed the way I think about limiting beliefs that I've had. Getting past limited beliefs in emotions is very, very key. I would invite you, if you haven't yet, to check out my book, Decide. Oh, where is it? Right over there. Get my book, Decide. By the way, you can still get it for free for just $6.95 shipping and handling. In that book, I basically bare my soul. I get extremely vulnerable, and I share every limiting belief I had, things that I wasn't willing to do. I knew I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be successful. I deserve success. But there were things I saw other people doing in my space that I didn't want to do. And I had my own issues with that. I tell you what they were. I tell you how I overcame them. So that's boy, I hope every answer is not that long, Jack, but you can do this. And what makes me think I have the answer? Because I've done it. I've been on both sides. I've been extremely poor. I started my business with about $40,000 in debt, maybe more. I had no savings. I had just come off of long-term unemployment and cancer, so I was in a very low place. And I did start a business, and within 5 years grew to multiple six figures. I then transitioned into the business model I have today, which is multiple successful six-figure businesses, multiple streams of revenue, and the big linchpin for me, I think, was getting my brain right. So the reason I think I have the answer is because I've done it. So there you go. I hope that helps. I'm probably a little bit tough, but you know what? People that think it can't be done are people that aren't doing it, yet there's other people doing it. So there you go, Jack. I really hope that was helpful for you. Next one is from Charles, and Charles says, how to best develop a product or service that is in demand and sells. Charles, you have to believe in what you're selling. You have to be in love with what you're selling. I just did a video on Newsletter Guru TV called Selling More When You're in Love, and I talk about how much you have to love what you do. You know, I think about people who go to work, whether it's an employee or 1040 type of job or as an entrepreneur, and you're doing something that you don't totally love. My goodness, it's hard enough to be an entrepreneur. How are you going to do it if you don't love what you do? So, I always come back to like, what is your core skill or talent that you're bringing? I think everybody has been blessed with a God-given skill or a talent, and if you can develop that and make a business around that, that's probably the preferable way to go. But if you're product-based, start selling. I mean, if you're not into floor cleaners, if you're not into aroma candles, if you're not into floor wax, I don't know, I'm just naming stuff off my head because those sell every day and you think that's the way to money. If you're not into it, don't go there. What are you into? How do you want to change the planet? How do you want to help people in their lives? What could you be in love with? Because here's what happens when it comes down to it. I mean, every business is about selling. You have to have sales. You could have a very nice office, a nice desk, a very cushy chair. You could have, glossy business cards, beautiful websites. You could have everything going for you. But if you don't have sales, you got nothing, baby. You got no business without sales. It's all about selling. And there's a lot of ways you can go that way. But what I'm going to tell you is, if you want to develop a product or service that's in demand, you first got to be in love with what you do because you will be doing it for many, many, many hours and weeks and months and years at a time. And the second thing, the whole demand thing, I forget who said this, but if you had your choice, if you wanted to open up a restaurant, would you rather have the best location in town? Would you rather have the best chef? Or would you rather have the best wait staff and everything else? Which one of those do you think will ensure success for that restaurant? And the answer is none of them. It's D. A starving, hungry crowd will generate a lot of revenue for a restaurant. A starving, hungry crowd will overlook an occasional bad meal, will overlook a grumpy wait staff, will overlook maybe they got to drive a little bit farther to get there. But if you don't have a starving, hungry crowd, you're not selling any food. So you got to have demand for what your product is. Okay, that's 2 so far. Oh, goodness gracious, I gotta speed it up. Okay, this is from Jeff. How do you overcome the reality of current financial distress in your subconscious mind? We're doing a lot of subconscious mind stuff versus creating your future reality in your subconscious mind. Too often the pain of the present situation derails my positive energy for a better future. Jeff, that's a really good question, and it is all about, I with my coaching clients, I say, look, there's the current you, your current business, and there's the future you where you want to be. The fastest way for anybody to get from where they are now to where they want to be is to work with a coach, and I'll tell you why. Because when you want to get from point A to point B, it's really helpful if you know somebody or talk to somebody who's gone from point A to point B. How did you get there? What did you do? How did you get there fastest? What mistakes did you make? Because I don't want to make those. What were some of the best decisions you made? By the way, take a look at what I'm doing, is how I'm even starting out the best way. How did you start out? Those are all conversations that a good, experienced business coach can help you with. I'll tell you this, if you continue to derail, if you allow your subconscious mind to continue to derail it because you don't want it bad enough, one of the things I suggest to a lot of folks is you have to have a big enough why. So if you're in this constant state, you know where you are now, you know where you want to go, but you can't seem to get there, I'll tell you this, and I said in my book, Decide, when I start talking about some psychology stuff, I never went to one psychology class. I am not trained. I have no professional experience in this area at all. So this is just Entrepreneur Jim's opinion, okay? Let's get that out there. There's usually a reason you can't get from where you are to where you want to go, either fast enough or even getting out of the starting blocks. And I think a lot of it comes down to you do not have a big enough reason to. You don't have a big enough why, as some people say. Just making money, putting more money in the bank is not a big enough reason why. You have to have something. And by the way, you need to personalize it. Okay, I'll tell you something really personal for me. When I started transitioning in 2006, 2007, when I transitioned from my first business to multiple businesses I have today. And one of the things that was really pressing on my mind was, my two boys were older and they were out of the house, I think, already, but I still had twin girls. I knew the girls wanted to go to college. I knew they were going to get married, and both of those things were humongous. Up to the point in my life, I had been the sole breadwinner, and we made a choice, Stephanie and I, that she would be stay at home taking care of the kids. I mean, she had part-time jobs and work. She was going to school, all those different things. I don't mean to say she wasn't contributing at all. She contributed greatly. But my message is, once I lost my job, our income went way, way down. And so when I started my business, not only did I not have a nest egg, I was already in debt from keeping our family afloat and fed, keeping the mortgage paid when I started my business. I had a big enough reason to go further into debt when I started my new business model, because I knew the fastest way to get from here to here was to accelerate the growth of my business, and you can purchase speed. Let me see what else. I just wrote a couple quick notes when I saw this. I started studying, by the way, some really successful people, and I started studying their behaviors and their habits. One of my great mentors, Dan Kennedy, wrote a really nice thing about my book, Decide. Dan, I think, is just a consummate entrepreneur. He's about 4 or 5 years older than myself. Never finished college. I never finished college. I think we both got really strong work ethics. But I look up to Dan and what he's done with his business, how he's been able to take his skill as a copywriter and a business creator and just take it to the max. He had his own issues. I mean, he stuttered. He was broke. He had a lot of things. But it really comes down to, what is your reason? What's the big enough reason why? Today, I mean, my kids are all grown and gone. I'm now a grandfather twice. So I don't have that as a why. The big why for Stephanie and myself, probably a few. We really enjoy, there's these 3 local charities that we support in a very big way, financially and with our time. Obviously, we're still creating our wonderful retirement, and we're not too far off from that, but that's a big thing, because I'm 57 now. I started in business semi-late, but I don't think it's ever too late. But so I got a big why. I have a big reason why. And even though you could say our retirement and things like that is very personal, having these charities that count on us financially, and it's things that are very personal to us, then that's a big reason. The more successful I am, the more money I keep pushing out that door. So have a big reason why, Jeff. Geez Louise, my goal of short answers is not happening. Okay, as I said, that's just a very, very small sampling of all of the questions that I answered on these videos. As I'm doing this now, I've done it 2 or 3 times. I think it's like an enormous coaching session on some really brilliant stuff, so you're going to want to see me answer all of these questions in addition to the interviews. So again, right here somewhere, I'm going to be putting the link where you can watch all of these interviews if you missed them, all the webinars, and then again, there'll be a place where you can watch all of the replays of the questions as I answer them. So go there now, do that. I mean, it's a phenomenal education at the very least, but at the most, what I really hope is that it encourages you to get one of the tickets that are remaining for Dream Business Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. It is dreambizacademy.com, Annapolis, Maryland, October 7th, 8th, and 9th. Beautiful Annapolis, Maryland. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, historic city on the water. All right, before the day's out, be sure to check out Stick Like Glue Radio. It's the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers. And why is that important? Because they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. And those are great things in anybody's business. And be sure to do something nice for somebody. One random act of kindness today. Just one. Do something nice once a day for anybody. Suppose it's a stranger or random person. It's going to make the world a much nicer place. One more time, that link is dreambizacademy.com, dreambizacademy.com, where you can register. I think we're down to about 20 to 22 tickets right now, so we're starting to get down to it. Very exciting. No doubt we're going to sell out again. Yay! And here's the link one more time, right here, where you can check out all the interviews in case you missed them, and that will get you engaged with all the questions. It's a huge private coaching session with me just by watching me answer all of these questions. All right, until next week, another great episode of Newsletter Guru TV. You take good care.